Howard Gardner is a Harvard professor who coined the term multiple intelligences. And of the multiple intelligences, he cited music as the first to awaken. When a fetus has its very first heartbeat, and it can feel the rhythm of that thump, 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 that is the beginning of the awakening of music intelligence. And when the mother receives that baby into her arms for the very first time and holds it to her chest and begins rocking, and you can feel both the heartbeats, and the mother's looking in the baby's eyes, and she's rocking back and forth, and she's probably singing, la, 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 la. That is the beginning of the mother building brains with music. And that is the topic of this talk. And also, the topic of a book that I have coming out this summer. I am so excited about the way music impacts and permeates every aspect of our life. And sometimes people don't even think about it. But if there were a birthday today, and I think there is, we would all get together and you would know what song. If I said, okay, everybody, it's her birthday, let's sing, we would sing, Happy Birthday. That's right. Okay, now let's pretend we're at a ballpark in the United States somewhere, and it's the middle of the seventh inning. We're all going to stand up, and we're going to stretch, and we're going to sing, Take Me Out to the... That's right, except in Boston, where for some reason they sing Sweet Caroline, but I digress. So now, music, can you imagine a movie without music? In my opinion, it'd be pretty dull and boring. And every movie has a theme that you remember. For example, if I were to say Frozen, you remember Anna and Elsa, but you also would remember Let It Go, Let It Go. And I'm sorry for putting that back in your head. But music just is a big part of who we are. And getting back to that mom holding the baby in her arms, music, rhythm is the element of music that has the greatest impact in the first year of life. When we're rocking that baby back and forth, you may not realize it, but what you're doing is teaching that brain how to find balance. And balance is what allows that child to stand up and walk and to talk. We are the only mammal that taps its toe without even thinking about it. We hear something and our toe starts going, right? And also, when we're singing to that baby, we most likely go, la, 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 la. They have found that women all over the world automatically sing that interval, which is called a minor third. As a matter of fact, they have found species of birds that also sing that interval. Okay, so it is so powerful, Johannes Brahms built a whole lullaby around it. La, 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 right? All right, so now music can be used in many ways. I used to teach at USF, and my students were elementary teachers. And I would tell them, you can use music with ease. Music could be used to enhance, educate, entertain, or evaluate. And I would also tell them, no one is expecting you to teach music. Same thing here. I don't expect any of you to teach music. Unless you're a music teacher, then please go ahead. But you should all use music to teach. It is very powerful. And I'm going to show you one song right now where we learn many, many things. And I'm going to ask you to move just a little bit from where you are. And I have a reason behind that as well. Your vestibular system, which is the part of the brain that is here and connected to your ear, connects to every single muscle in your body. If you don't move and your vestibular system shuts down, you don't take in information. You just zone out. So as adults, we have to move every 22 minutes or we stop taking in information. For children, it's even shorter periods of time that they have to keep moving. Okay, so everybody, do this with me. Don't worry about looking silly. You don't. You look great. Okay, shake it, shake what you got. Shake it a lot. Now, shake your hands, 1, 2, 3. Shake your hands, shake them with me. Okay, now what just happened there? You're thinking, what is this woman making us do? Okay, first of all, we're learning vocabulary words. Hands, body parts. We're learning to listen. We're learning to follow directions. And we're shaking. When you shake, you stimulate the lymphatic system, which relies on movement to move toxins out of your body. Wow. Music can also help us stay healthy. I love these brain facts so much that my daughter, who's sitting there staring at me with so much pride, knows that when she was younger, I would read books about brain research like she would read Jane Austen. I just find it interesting. I have a whole Facebook page on brain facts. So let's go to another brain fact. This one. Playing a musical instrument reduces your risk of Alzheimer's by 69%. Wow. Yeah. I never lied to you before, right? Okay, so look at these children. One is playing an instrument by themselves. One happens to be my daughter at the piano with me. And then some children marching. Whether they're by themselves, with another person, or in a group, they are experiencing the joy and the accomplishment and the pride of playing a musical instrument. And the earlier you put an instrument in a child's hands, the more likely they will keep it in their life. I have one more here for you. Dancing once a week reduces your risk of Alzheimer's by 79%. 10% more, right? Yeah, we should go out dancing once a week for health purposes. Should be part of our healthcare package. But anyway, how many of you actually dance once a week? Right? You need to dance. And you know what? Have dance parties with your children. Every once in a while, just stop working and say, you know what? Put on a song, let's dance. And it's a way to share who you are. Let me show you a dance I did when I was a little girl or a little boy. How about you show me what your favorite dance is? And this will help us for neuroplasticity of our brain, the ability for our brain to keep developing. Now, I know that if you knew taking a B-complex vitamin every day would keep you healthy, you will do it. And if your doctor says you need to take this pill once a week, you will do it. I am telling you that you need to dance once a week. Will you do it? Okay, now, here's what's really interesting. The Chinese believe in the relationship of music and medicine so strongly that the symbols for music and medicine are almost identical. Almost identical. We know that music can help us grow in many different ways. When I left my job as a music teacher to stay at home with my daughter, I also thought about, I love being a stay-at-home mom, but I also have that professional part of me that wanted to know, how can I still stay home and be a music teacher? So I started Music with Mare. And I started taking the brain research and writing songs that would help people put it into place. There were a lot of times I'd go to teacher conferences, and I've traveled all over the world talking with teachers. And they all say the same thing. Sometimes people will tell us this or that about brain research, and it's interesting, but they don't tell us how to use it. That's what I'm here for. I'm telling you how to use it. Parents will say to me, are these songs you're doing with our children going to get them ready for school? And I say, I prefer to think that they are getting them ready for life. Because when you're ready for life, school's easy. Now, on this next slide, we talk about singing to Mr. Froggy. Now, he's the mascot of the Music with Mare program, but any puppet that you have. If you take a puppet and you sing to a child and you look at them and you smile, that translates into, I like being with you. And those mirror neurons, where the baby is seeing your facial expressions, is the beginning of emotional intelligence. Understanding what that facial expression means and what emotion it identifies. The other end of it, cognitively, is it is helping you to get a better understanding of phonemic awareness, which is the smallest units of sound. Like the letter T has 3, T, E, right? So when you can follow a melody, you will have better phonemic awareness. Now the next thing is steady beat. Dr. Phyllis Weichert, who helped design the High Scope program for Head Start, says that every child should be able to find and keep a steady beat for 2 to 3 minutes before the age of 3. This is why babies bounce. They just know they need to find that steady beat. And steady beat does all these many wonderful things. So what I do with the children is, how do I help them hear all the sounds? Because humans can only say what we hear. I'll use my name as an example. Now, I don't want to I'm going to do this for 1 second. Maryann. Okay, I clapped 2 times, but there's 3 syllables in my name. The re happens so fast, children don't hear it. So they call me Maryann. So you need to put things on straight rhythms so the ear can hear it. But then please put it back into its natural pattern, or children will talk like this, and that's not good. So you have to put it back into the regular pattern. Okay, so when we play hand games with children, it helps them to become better spellers, have neater handwriting skills, and better overall writing skills in general. There are certain times of day, I think that's the next slide, yep, when we have the most impact on children. Now, I see some of you taking pictures. If you want copies of this, just write to me and I will send it to you. There are 3 times a day that have the most impact on children. The first is the 3 minutes after they wake up in the morning. The next is the 3 minutes when they come home or when you get back from work or wherever you've been. And the last is the 3 minutes right before they go to sleep. If you complement those 3 minutes with music, they become even more powerful. Now, during the pandemic, we reached out to one another through music. In Italy, the people went out on their balconies, singing with each other, playing instruments, tapping on the railings to keep a beat. What were they really saying? They were saying, I'm here. You're here too. We can still connect. We can connect through music. People in Ireland were marching through the streets. They stayed socially distanced. They marched in clusters of families, but they marched together. And they were going through the streets, singing songs to stay connected. And that's what I did with music. I would go online at 1 o'clock and I would do a brain break where I would sing 3 or 4 songs with families. And then I ran my music with Mayor classes through Zoom. And you could see these children and their happy faces. They're having so much fun, still connecting. They can still see that Mr. Froggy's still around and we're still going to sing our ABCs. And by the way, when you sing the ABCs, please sing L-M-N-O-P, because there's no such letter as L-M-N-O-P. And going back to my last brain fact, they don't hear it if you don't spell it out. Okay, so these children now are starting to come back to the classes. The parents are coming back in person, and it's so wonderful. So this brings me to my call to action for all of you. I know many of you probably already have music in your lives and may have heard these things before. And some of you are going, what? I didn't know that. So my call to action is that you become an advocate for music. Now with your own child, take them to shows. When Joya was little, we would go to see the Nutcracker Suite or a mall. And I would take her to TPAC, Straz, and we would see shows. She's still an avid supporter of the arts because started it when she was little. Watch musicals. Enroll them in dance classes. And by the way, hip-hop dance is actually really good for the brain. Take them, let them play musical instruments. And as an advocate, go to your local school. Get involved with the Booster Club. Find out if there are communities or schools where children can't afford musical instruments. Write to your local paper and tell them about it. Ask your local news to come and watch these tremendous children performing, and ask people to open their hearts and purses and help out, right? Send invitations to your school board members. Ask them to attend these events. Let them see how well spent that money is when they use it on the arts. Also, make sure people understand how music made a difference in your life. Every day, you can be building brains with music. Thank you.